Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is going to be my review for American Horror Story episode. This is American Horror Story Hotel episode 9. So we start the whole episode off where the Countess Gaga is actually she's kind of going through about just shit in general and betrayal. It's a lot of she feels betrayed. She's really pissed off, really, for the most part, about the whole situation with uh, her with Valentino being locked in the wall and all that stuff, and she's pretty pissed off. She's pretty pissed off. So you know what happens when we get pissed off? We start going back through everything. You know, hindsight is 2020, and she's just like really going through and looking at her friendships and relationships that she has, and she's pissed off, and she just kind of feels kind of like, I done did some things and I made some mistakes and, I've given too much of myself and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do me and it's getting ready to be a whole different day. Now, I don't know how much of herself she's given because I think she's a pretty selfish bitch, but, well, she's all in her feelings, basically, is what it is. And it doesn't get any better when she comes downstairs and she's getting ready for the wedding. The wedding's like in a couple days with her and Will Drake. Well, she gets down and she's talking to Liz Taylor, a bald-headed drag queen. And baby, she's not feeling it at all, baby. She's giving very much of, bitch, I'm not getting ready to help you at all with your motherfucking wedding, bitch. As a matter of fact, you can start kissing my ass last week. Paraphrasing. And she's like, fuck you. I ain't got time for the bullshit. I'm not thinking about your motherfucking monkey ass. Go on. You order your flowers yourself and all that. But she told her, bitch, order your own flowers. So again, that was just another piece of betrayal as far as she was concerned. Which is so funny because it's like, are you serious, Gaga? I mean, the shit you did was really out of order. Well, it was betrayal because she was fucking around with her man, but whatever. But they basically had a little exchange about Tristan and all of that. And yeah, it's two scorn ass whores going back and forth. And I think that Liz Taylor actually realized she said it too later in the program that she realizes there's only so long before she's going to slit my goddamn throat. But she's so in her feelings that she just can't stop basically saying what it is that she has to say to Countess. And fuck it, it is what it is. And I get that. Everybody's in their feelings pretty much. So she actually, she goes back and I start watching Got Countess. She's making these moves. We see she had hired a private investigator. She done found Valentino and Natasha, and she's fucking Valentino behind Natasha's back, and she starts back fucking Donovan and getting him up in her traps, but he's running around giving that he's got her in his clenches and all of this. So we got all this going on. She told Donovan they were screwing real hot and heavy. And she tells him, honey, I'm getting married on Wednesday. And he was pissed. And she said, but that's okay because I'll be a widow, a rich widow on Thursday. I said, oh. So she is just not, she's a bitch. She's being a bitch. She's being an even bigger bitch than she was all along. She has all plans on killing Will Drake. Yeah, it just is what it is. And sure, it just is what it is. And then there was some news coverage going on about the kids that were doing, that the kids, you remember all that stuff that happened with the kids, the vamps and all that. That was on the news. Alex actually goes, Mrs. Lowe, she goes and finds them and warns them that the jig is up. This is bullshit. Y'all can't do this, and she sees a little boy. She knows it's the one that she saved, and she's looking at him, and there's some of the kids, there's like 2 or 3 of them that literally don't want to do the killing, and they have a conscience, and they're like, this is not working out, I miss my mom. The one little girl, she's like, they made me kill my parents, and I really miss my mom, and, this guy, it was really sad. But then you got these other, it really is a borrowed storyline for the children of the corn. You know what I mean? laziness. But anyway, so there's that whole thing. They end up going back and forth. Then they wanted to turn on Alex. And the little boy wouldn't allow it. The little boy that she saved, that was her patient, wouldn't allow it. But they ended up running off, leaving. Because they had actually ordered pizza and killed the pizza man when she went to the house. Honey, they had to kill all kind of folks. Had all these grown folks killed up in there. These little bastards are just determined not to listen to any adults. They're just a bunch of bastards. They are. Little goddamn children are corny and killed all their parents. And that's what we all killed our parents. So nobody's looking for us. Just think they smart, think they know everything. They gonna get fucked up. But I don't know how they're going to bring that all full circle in the story, but I hope we get to see them get fucked up, because I can't stand little smart motherfucking kids that think they know everything. So I am so here to see them get fucked up. But anyway, I hope somebody set them all on fire. But anyhow, hey, look, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Anyway, so we go back to the Cortez. We see there's 2 porn stars and a porn director show up. And that damn Iris is just off the hook now. Iris goes up to the thing. She's like, oh, hello, douchebag. This, that, and the other. And they come in and they get a room, and, they're up there filming and everything. So she's going, she has this. So, Iris is nutty as a fruitcake. So she has her whole self-righteous thing going on. Talking about, I used to like, I'm not a fan of porn. I went to see Deep Throat like everybody else in the 70s and blah, 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 blah. She's going on, and she's on her way to the room. And I said, she's going up there and fucked him up. But anyway, she's, making her whole excuse in her head when her crazy about doing what it is she wants to do. She goes, takes her stinking ass on up there, and she's saying, the guys need to know that girls don't want to be screwed that way, and the girls don't realize that they really don't want to be screwed that way. This, that, and the other. Girl, that's your bullshit. She just is fucked up and crazy. But anyway, she knocks on the door, and when they open the door, the director answers the door. She gonna say, oh, hello, douchebag, and she slits that motherfucker's throat. Then she gets the girl. The guy runs in the bathroom and has that punk. He runs in the bathroom and has. So she basically is bleeding him out. And Donovan actually comes in, and then he's talking to her, comes in the room, and he's like, oh, so you're changing this, that, thing, and the other. And she's like, whatever. So they're going back and forth, and he's seeing that Iris is becoming like vicious. And it was so funny because she called herself Dirty Harriet. I said, and I cracked up. But I said, yeah, I'm becoming Dirty Harriet. But they go and they talk, and Donovan's telling her, the Countess thinks that I'm back with her, this, that, thing, and the other, and on and on and on. And she's like, please tell me you're not back in her clutches, and this, that, and the other. She's like, no. And she's like, it's only a matter of time before she figures out that you, me, and Ramona are working together. He's like, don't worry about that. I got her where I want her, this, that, thing, and the other. So we're like, okay, whatever. So Harris is like, he's like, you just keep doing what it is you're doing and don't worry about it. I got this. So the guy hears them talking. The guy's like, somebody please call the police, whatever. Donovan kicks the door open, and Donovan had this cute outfit in these like fitted leather pants. And he looked real cute for some reason to me in that outfit, but he just looked real cute and he's looking real good or whatever. But he goes and kicks the door in and fucks the guy up, and that's it. So then we go, let's see. Mrs. Evers comes to Will Drake and warns him about Countess and told him, you're going to die, and you're going to die a miserable death if you don't get away from her now. She's a stinking bitch, and she's not out for anybody but herself. And she explains everything, and she even explains how she was in love with James Patrick Marsh and how he loved her, but he was in love with Countess, and we went through that whole thing. It was very interesting how James Patrick Marsh knew that his father had actually taught him that a dowdy woman was the type of woman that you really wanted to marry. But he was just so enchanted with the bad woman, the pretty woman, the woman that's mysterious, and that whole thing. And that's how he ended up with Countess. And he explained to Mrs. Evers, I really do love you. I really have love for you, but it's just her swag got me hooked up. So whatever. And Will Drake basically dismissed her. Miss Evers gave her, girl, get on out of my damn face. And I don't even know how you got in here, bitch. I don't want to see you in this hotel again. She told him, you're going to see me again. And when you do see me again, you're going to be dying a horrible death. And I don't give a fuck. And I'm glad you got it. You're going to be begging for my help. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to laugh because I know that when they're done fucking you up, I'm going to have to clean the shit and the blood out of your outfit. Out of your lovely couture outfit. I said, oh, okay, paraphrasing. But he was like, yeah, whatever, bitch, get on out of here. So that was that. So Donovan takes his ass back and he goes to talk to Ramona. And he actually takes the guy, and that's what I was going to say. How he fucked the guy up. I thought that they had killed the guy, but he didn't. He actually took the guy with him to Ramona's house. And he fucked him up then. He took him over to Ramona's, and they actually snapped on him and Ramona. But he was like telling Ramona, you know, this is the part of the plan that I got together. I got her all hooked up, you know. Yeah, I got this bitch. I got her, you know, and this, that, and the other. And he's like, now, how can I know that I can trust you? Because I know why I hate her. Why do you hate her, you know? And Ramona goes and starts explaining. She explains her whole thing. It's Los Angeles, 1992. She explains, again, remember she told us all about how Countess killed her, one man that she loved and all that. Then she was telling the part about how she went through so much turmoil and in her feelings about the whole thing of her killing the man. She goes back home. Well, when she goes back home, you know, she already is infected with the virus and all of that, but her family doesn't know that. But she goes back to her mother and her father. And Marla Gibbs actually played her mother, but her mother was already sick. And her father was suffering with Alzheimer's, but he wouldn't actually be treated. But it didn't really make us, you know, there's no cure for Alzheimer's. But she was there with them for I think like 6 years, she said, and she basically watched her mother die and her father continue to deteriorate from Alzheimer's. And once the mother died, it just kicked up. And then there was this whole thing where she wasn't at the house and some folks broke into the house and they beat the father real bad and left him. He was like damn near and almost in a comatose state. She was so in grief with it. She thought that the virus would really cure, you know, the virus, because the virus cures broken bones and this, that, thing, and the other. But she gave him her blood. And she thought she'd get her dad back. But it basically, the virus didn't cure Alzheimer's. It took him back to a decent physical state where he was, but the mind was still done. It stopped the Alzheimer right where it was. Okay, so it didn't cure it. It was right where it was. So he was literally stuck in that really bad Alzheimer confused because he was already confused. He would get very, very confused and didn't know where he was. He didn't know who she was and all that kind of thing. But he got stuck there. So he was literally going to be stuck there. She went through that for a little while, and then she would go out and he couldn't hunt or anything like that. So she would feed him and made him think he was eating soup and stuff. Then I see that the house got broken in again, and he had actually, you know, cause he's physically fit, but he was, you know, his instinct took over. He had killed the people, and it was just he was just in a bad way. So she ended up drowning him herself to put him out of his misery. So she thought she was helping her father, but she didn't really help, and then she ended up having to actually kill her father. So she's really, you know, she's in a very bad grief state, and she blames it all really on Countess. And that's her thing. She's like, I hate that bitch. I'm gonna cut that bitch's heart out, you know, that whole thing. So we're like, okay, cool, no problem. So okay, so then they go to the hotel, and Donovan's like, I still have that deep attraction for her. I hate Countess. I can't do the killing, but just work with me. We're good. Just work with me. So they get all the way up there, and Countess, she's in there laying down asleep, and you know, she's all knocked out. And Donovan's like, okay, go ahead in there now. And shit, Ramona goes in, baby. She's going to go in there and do her, baby. She got the knife. And it was all a big setup, honey. When she went to go get Gaga, honey, Gaga snatched her ass, honey. And her and Donovan let her have it. He tased her and shit. And they ended up locking her up in the basement in these infrared. It's like a cage. Remember the cage with the girls was in? But it's like a cage and it has infrared lights or whatever on it that was weakening her. Had her all locked up and shit. So, she had actually been talking to some contractors. That was another thing. She was talking to some contractors and everything and saying how she wanted the wall to be sealed up. Again, the same way that James Patrick Marsh did. And the contractor kept saying, like, this can't be done in this short period of time, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, who the fuck is she planning on locking up like that? I said, okay. Anyway, so she wants all that done. Meanwhile, and pops the ghost of James Patrick Marsh and talks to the contractor and tells him about how to do it, how to get it done. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before and I'll help you do it. So he's calling himself helping her with her diabolical plan. Well, she turns around and smacks his fucking face and tells him he's crazy and this, that, thing, and the other. And she is really still like pissed with James Patrick Marsh and told him about, after she found out everything. So she's like really mad at him. And again, with the whole betrayal that he did, and he's kind of looking at her like, okay, but he can't get out of this way because he actually really loves her. I think she's the only thing that he really actually loved. But that whole thing goes on. She is actually this diabolical plan, and she's planning on killing Will Drake, but I didn't know how she was planning on killing him. But the whole thing was, she got a plan with Valentino to basically, she got the okay from him because he's ashamed to get rid of Natasha, because she basically let him know she's gonna fuck Natasha up, and him and her was going to be together. She was going to be very rich. This, that, thing, and the other. And that's the big plan. So I believe, because there's two cages there. She ends up talking to, she went through with the wedding and all of that. Because she told Will Drake that she didn't want to have this big extravagant wedding, and he did. But she talked him out of it. So she had her gown, it was real pretty and everything, and he designed it and all that. She changed out of her gown, and he came upstairs, her and Donovan get him, knock his ass out, locked him in the wall. He's locked into the wall with Ramona there, but Ramona's down there too. There's two cages. She's like, they're going to come back and put you in the wall too. So Ramona talks him out of getting him, talks him into getting her out of the cage, and then she kills him. She kills him, and because she was all weak, she kills him so she get her strength back. And sure enough, while she's killing him, and Will Drake is like, "Oh my God, somebody help me!" Miss Zephyr shows up, and she just watches him and says, "Didn't I tell you, motherfucker? I told you. Look at your ass now, getting sucked on, honey." So him and Ramona, well, he's dead. So Ramona's actually locked inside the wall at this point. And I don't know, they didn't go into it, but I believe Natasha's ass is going to end up inside the wall too. But anyway, so that was the last that we saw. Ramona's locked inside the wall. And the thing is, that damn James Patrick Marsh, that's how she got so mad. I don't believe Will Drake's, she was going to kill him while they were away on the honeymoon. But that damn James Patrick Marsh actually interfered. And when Gaga went to change her clothes and Will Drake went to have a drink, James Patrick Marsh came to him and started talking to him about meshing the two families together and all of that. And he's talking about his little son. And he's like, oh, no. She has a son. She has a son. His name is Bartholomew. And he literally took him to see Bartholomew. And he was like, what is that thing? This, that thing, and the other. And he was like, oh my God, it's a monster, blah, 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 blah. She's standing in the doorway. And she told him, I was going to kill you when we went to Paris. But anybody that would say anything like that about my child deserves to die. And they knocked him out. Well, she knocked him out. And then she locked him in the wall. And, he got drained by good old Ramona. So, I don't know. That's basically kind of where we ended out at. It was a bunch of, it was really twisted. It was really good. I enjoyed this episode because of the twist. Like, literally, she's feeling betrayed by everybody, but then they're still trying to eat like 10 miles of her shit, trying to stay in her good graces. So, yeah. But that's kind of how people are when people, and I'm going off of topic here, but people, when they say keep your enemies close, people live that way. Like they hate a motherfucker and literally try to stay up underneath them. And it doesn't even have to always be your enemy. Just people that don't really like you. And I'll probably do a video about that. But people who don't like you you got to watch people because they'll stick up underneath you and they don't like your ass at all. And that's kind of what I seen. And I really enjoyed this episode. I really did. But anyway, that's kind of where it is. And we'll be back next Wednesday. And we'll pick up from here because there's still more to come. We're getting toward the end of the season. But there's some more weeks to come. So I'm enjoying it. I still think some of the writing here is lazy. Some of this stuff is a lot borrowed from other stuff, but it's cool. It's getting back on track. But it's not like watching American Horror Story anymore. I don't know. It's taking a turn for something different, but whatever. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Y'all know how that works. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Bye, guys.